Hello, you precious humans. I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your celestial wisdom for the week of May 8th through the 15th of 2022. I will kick this off by saying, first of all, happy Mother's Day to everyone who is celebrating, as well as just honoring the fact that we all have life because of our mother. And so no matter what kind of relationship you might have, or I might have, let's just continue to celebrate the fact that we are having this human experience and that we get to co-create it from a very conscious place if we're willing to do so. And that's part of what the energetic updates using astrology and just intuition and all of these updates are here for. It's just to empower us to be able to make decisions or to be able to understand maybe why we're feeling what we're feeling. And it's in those moments of choice points where freedom lies. And so here we can continue to co-create our days and our experiences, removing, you've heard me say this, I tend to remove the label of good or bad and use the question, what experience do I want to have here? And recognizing we always have a choice, even if our emotions, and I know all of you who are highly sensitive like myself, when you feel the things, they're just there to feel. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to take action or that there's anything quote unquote wrong. You will deal with things as they show up. So let's talk about what most likely is the buzzword for the month of May, and that is Mercury retrograding in its home sign of Gemini. Now, this takes place on May 10th, as well as Jupiter moving into Aries. So we've got two big planets, personal planet Mercury, thoughts, communication, transportation, the way in which we learn and organize information, as well as connect, and it's in the sign of Gemini. That's a personal planet. And then we've got Jupiter, our social planet, but we're going to feel this beautiful love, this planet that loves to expand and grow and give us good luck and fortune. Just got to watch out for a little overindulgence, but it loves being in fire signs. And so with it in Aries, it's going to be a pretty happy placement for all of us to experience. Now, it's been in Pisces since December, and it is going to retrograde. Jupiter will retrograde back into Pisces this year. But for the next couple months, we're going to experience some of the blessings of Jupiter in Aries. So I'll talk about that. But first, Mercury in Gemini. It's a great time to complete projects, to tie up loose ends, anything that may have fallen by the wayside, to kind of pick it up and re-energize it, all those RE words, right? And it's the ability to be able to revisit and redo, refine certain things, and maybe even rejuvenate, bring something back to life that needed attention and just didn't have the resources, the time and energy, maybe the right pieces and parts. This is a good time for us to wrap that up. We also will find relationships from the past coming back because it's a communication thing. So there may be, if there was unfinished business or things that felt like you just had more questions than answers, could be friendship, romance, business, whatever. These relationships have a tendency to come back during a Mercury retrograde so that you can talk about some of the things that maybe were left undone and need to be wrapped up. Also, keep in mind that with Mercury here in this kind of placement and retrograding through a home sign of Gemini, transportation, so anything to do with our vehicles or travel can also be affected. There could be delays. There could be necessities of fixing things or buying new vehicles, things like that. Just get your warranties, ask those questions, get a second set of eyes if you're having to sign a contract, because oftentimes during the Mercury retrograde, there is miscommunication or it's foggy in the information. And so we often miss those details, right? But Mercury retrograde also brings the planet, when the planet's retrograde, brings it closer to the Earth. And remember, we're made of Earth and stars. And so we're going to feel more internalized. That means our intuition is going to be really peaked right now. So it's important to pay attention to those little hits you get. You may feel a little scattered at times, and not everything is as it appears to be. It doesn't necessarily mean that you always act on your intuition, but definitely gather those pieces when you get those hits and go, okay, something's up here. I'm not sure what it is yet. Giving it the space and time for something to drop in that gives you more information. Anything started during a Mercury retrograde will most likely have to be revisited down the road. So just keep that in mind, that if for some reason you do have to launch a business, or you're launching a new relationship, or buying that new vehicle, whatever it might be, that there may be some things that aren't revealed right away. So take your time, vet it out, get those warranties, you ask the questions, and then give it the space it needs to unfold, if you will. Now, the other thing I didn't mention yet is Venus has made her move into passionate Aries. So we're going to have Venus and Jupiter, and later in the month, we're going to have Mars all moving into the sign of Aries. So there's going to be a lot of passion and action that we're wanting in our lives. And we may be attracted to really intense situations that we can get our needs met. So that's a nice thing about Venus and Aries. We can also, I like to say Venus and Aries is like saying, the world is my canvas and I can paint with wild abandon. I go where angels dare to tread. I'm willing to take a few more risks because I can easily attract the support I need. It's like with Aries, we're the generals of our lives, right? And with Venus, we're looking at it from a financial, relationship, value standpoint. So we may find ourselves wanting to be independent, number one, in a particular relationship, or just saying, this is what I need in a relationship. It also has a really good ability for self-love. So if you've been working on more self-care or self-loving, then this is a good placement for it, because we can easily attract people into our lives or intimacy that reflects the love that we feel for ourselves. So it's really important that at least this is my belief, and you can take it or leave it, but I believe you can only love another person as much as you can love yourself, and not in a narcissistic way, but in a way that says, you know what, I fully love and accept even the negative side of me. And now I can truly partner with somebody and even love the negative side of them. Doesn't excuse bad behavior. I'm not talking about abusive relationships, but what I am saying is that we all have our bugaboos. We all have our quirks. We all have the things that maybe we don't do really well. And if we can love ourselves because of that and using that as a tool versus a weapon, we will find that the love that we are seeking, or the relationships that we're already bonded in, can become deeper and fuller because of that great acceptance. Now, if you're seeking a fresh start in love or money or what we value most, Venus and Aries will have a way of pushing through that and kind of getting that into our everyday lives. And so during a Mercury retrograde, that's why I say there's a lot of new things that may be showing up for us. If you can take your time with it, doesn't mean you couldn't date. It doesn't mean you can't start a new business or an investment or anything like that. What I will say is that you want to be really driven and passionate about getting the information first and giving it the space you need. There's a lot of confidence and assertiveness with Venus and Jupiter in Aries. And this is about us being passionate with dancing to the beat of our own drum. Now, I mentioned Jupiter being expansive, good luck, fortune. And so you add that into the mix. You think about if you want a fresh start with, say, finances, you may be really passionate about finding that new role or fighting for that promotion that comes with the compensation. And also, if you're looking at it from a relationship standpoint, you may be seeking ways in which the relationship has more meaning and it has a lot of enhancements in your lives. And with Jupiter in Aries, it's seeking action and adventure and wanting to have something that it has great meaning and is really passionate about. And you may be eager to satisfy your own needs first. I consider this to be a good placement for put your mask on first before helping another. And so we may be a lot more focused on that, a lot more independent around it. The risk that we may end up taking, though, may not be very thoughtful. So do be careful of that. It's very possible that some of us may experience overspending, or maybe gambling or taking risks we end up losing some money or some relationship dynamics because we're putting too much emphasis on ourselves and what we want versus what is better for the collective. So just keep that in mind. But I feel as though with Jupiter and Aries, especially as it will start to make a sextile to Saturn in Aquarius, we will have to, work with ourselves and have no regrets and kind of go where angels dare to tread, but then also going, okay, now I know more of myself. How can I offer this a greater benefit to the collective? And also with Jupiter and Aries, we may find ourselves really yearning to learn from others. And that's a good thing. So it has a wonderful ability to coach or to ask questions or to teach and to have this collaborative kind of, hey, I want to learn from you. I'm going to ask these questions. Could you learn from me? I have something I want to offer. And it can be a very collaborative time. Now, one other pin on the map that I just want to put out there for this week. Thursday, May 12th, Venus will canoodle with Chiron, meaning conjunct, and oppose the moon in Libra, while the sun and north node are canoodling in Uranus. And so we're going to have Venus and Chiron connecting with each other. They're going to be opposing the moon in Libra. And then the sun and north node will be conjunct or canoodling in Uranus. And I bring of the heart to take place. Destiny is in the making, and many relationships can be healed during this time. So if you've had some really tough dynamics, maybe it's the relationship with yourself, the relationship with money, but a relationship with others in particular, especially with the moon in Libra, you may find yourself being able to have the opportunities to heal, to talk through, hey, this is what really happened, or this is what I really want. It also may have some of you looking at the future with a beloved and saying, let's plan something bigger for the two of us. And again, this is, we'll call it destiny in the making. For me, fate and destiny is fate brings opportunities. Destiny is what we choose to do with it. And remember too, that because we're working with the moon and Chiron, this can bring up a lot of wounding or healing for us that we need, or feelings, if you will, that we need to heal. And we can't heal what we don't feel. And so we want to work with, hey, how can I turn this weapon, this thing that I've been carrying around? Maybe for me personally, it's anxiety, right? I do suffer from worry and fears around the future. I can know of worrying about the future and getting back into the best version of myself. And it's interesting because I'm getting a little notice here as I'm recording the video that my microphone isn't working properly. So I get to blame it on Mercury retrograde because we're in shadow and it's going to go retrograde on the 10th. And yeah, why not? So I'm just putting that pin on the map. But going back to this particular moment in time this week is that what we're working with is choosing love over fear. How can I love, for example, my anxiety? What is it revealing to me? And what it does is it often reminds me to come back to the present moment, let go of the things I can't control, that beautiful serenity prayer. And the other piece of this week is that the energy will show us how to truly love, how to truly deepen ourselves back into loving ourselves so much that we can give to another without expecting anything in return. We do it simply for the sake of love. And I will leave with this quote. It's a Rumi quote, but the crack is where the light comes in. So loving all the cracks and pieces and parts of ourselves is a beautiful thing for us to do in this coming week and moving forward. All right, you guys, I really hope this helps. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Come find me at jamiedawn.com. I look forward to hearing how the week goes and how I can support you. Have a great week.